Even if you lived under a rock with no internet connection whatsoever, this news is so big that it has already reached you, and we're not here to completely talk about the news again, which, just in case though you don't actually know for whatever reason, it's that the game has been listed on the PlayStation Store randomly, allowing you to now add it to your wish list. At this moment in time, I'm not sure if it's available in the US, last time I checked it wasn't, but check again. But we got a whole bunch to cover in this video, and no matter where your hype level is right now for this game, I can guarantee you it is going to go completely off the scales. If you could leave a like on this video, it helps a lot, so I'd really appreciate it, but feel free to turn your like into a dislike if you get to the end and you say, well, I didn't actually enjoy the video, but if you could drop a like right now, it helps a ton. Now, no, the screenshot is not fake, but let's be honest, it is time to brace yourself. Even if you lived under a rock, as I say, this news is so big that it has found its way to you somehow. What's crazier is James Stevenson, who is Insomniac's community director, also went to Twitter and said, click that wish list and follow button. We're not speculating anymore, are we, people? Let's be honest, it's right in front of us, especially after Miles' voice actor posted the video on his socials a couple of days ago saying, and I quote, "We gon' end the year right for y'all." So I don't think there are any lines to even read in between at this point because it's just there. So when is the trailer happening? Well, very likely this week. Tomorrow is the trailer for the Across the Spider-Verse, so the stars have definitely aligned. Is it going to be the same day though? Well, I'm not sure, but my gut feeling tells me this week for sure. But the fact that we have less than 24 hours when I'm making this video until that trailer drops, this is where the heat is being turned up like crazy, and things are going to get very, very interesting, let's just say that. What is also crazy is the new black and white logo, which looks incredible. Of course, we know it's a representation of Venom's presence, and we're also talking about the Black Spider-Man 2 suit as well. All of these things are driving us fans crazy to just see new gameplay, or the first bit of gameplay should I say, and or a trailer. I mean, heck, at this point, seriously, I would just take a screenshot. Now, there was a QuickTime event back in Spider-Man 3 on the PlayStation 2, if I'm not mistaken, which allowed you to switch from the black suit, but it was the opposite, so you had to sort of prevent yourself from allowing the black suit on. If you remember, you remember. The point I'm trying to make is, how cool would it be if there was something like that in this game as a quick time event? That would just be absolutely insane. Now, the new trailer for this game is no doubt going to break the internet, and it's been smartly done too. Now, a while back, Screen Rant did an article which said that Marvel Spider-Man 2 has a much harder job than you actually think, and they went on to say, Marvel Spider-Man 2 has more pressure on it to be incredible than it would actually seem, and it's really the fault of Marvel Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales. It's undoubtedly one of the most anticipated announced games right now, and ruins the risk of failing to live up to the hype. However, the hype isn't the only thing Marvel Spider-Man 2 has to overcome. It must also work to improve upon the template that has already been established in the previous games, which is a very tough bar to move. Marvel Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales are incredible games. They took the best elements of past Spider-Man titles and combined them with Insomniac's take on the successful mechanics of the Batman Arkham series. The result is two of the best Spider-Man games ever made. Now, Marvel Spider-Man 2 is going to need a lot more than just better graphics to actually live up to these games' legacy. Without a significant leap in gameplay, it will end up being a sequel that offers little to no more than being a prettier version of what came before. Now, here's the thing, in my opinion, sure, there are actually a lot of valid points that have been mentioned in this article, but one thing that I've been seeing more recently is a lot of people talk about the graphical aspect of this game, and let's be honest, right, a graphical improvement, or at least any type of graphical improvement, doesn't actually dramatically change a game unless its last release was on like the PlayStation 2 or even PlayStation 3. So of course, with Spider-Man 2, it is a sequel to the first game, and we could also argue the fact that if we are going to go on to get, Spider-Man 3, 4, etc., then you can't also dramatically improve graphics each time, especially if they do get released on the same gen consoles. Also, another valid point to mention is a key thing that this game has to really step up from is the replayability in this game, and that leads to the core gameplay aspect and what it entails, as well as future villains. Now, having Venom alone is a very huge jump. The next big jump would of course be to have Green Goblin, and well, depending on how the story is going to go, that may well actually be a thing, but that's where the challenges are in my opinion. I am not really bummed out about the graphical aspect of this game, and also another thing is, sure, you can say about games being overhyped and then they just simply don't deliver, but at the same time, if we compare this game to games that have actually experienced that more recently, those are games that have also not had a previous template from the same developers to go off on. So we're looking at the first Spider-Man game and Miles Morales and Insomniac's capabilities and the new gen console. So it's really one of those things I don't think anyone is actually expecting to just completely be overhyped and not actually deliver, at least in my opinion anyway. Now, of course, we're no doubt going to get gameplay that is going to be amazing at some point, whether that's going to be the next thing they drop or a trailer in general, but one thing that instantly differentiates this game from the last, or at least if it's true anyway, is not that Miles and Venom are in the game as well, but it's actually the map size of the game. Now, from what we've had this past week, this map is no doubt going to be much larger, and well, it makes sense to represent each character that is in this game and where they're from. Also, another point mentioning is, even if we are talking about map size, on the grand scheme of things, even then, it doesn't make that big of a deal, right? Because you can have a map that is completely big for nothing, and I mean, it has little to no density in that map, right? Where the map is huge, you can web swing around, etc, and have absolutely nothing to do. Whereas what is likely to happen is they take different, I guess, elements, if you will, from the map and kind of put it all into one big area, with the key landmarks being taken into account that relate to Spider-Man, and then just making it very, very dense. And that's where I talk about things like I did earlier about the quick time events. You know, I've been saying it previously in videos as well, where I say, you know, random side missions. Of course, there is still two theories, or things that people are speculating on anyway, which is A, there's going to be switchable characters simply because people know that there is Miles in the game. It's that whole situation of, okay, can we randomly switch whilst in free roam? And I guess even if you take a look at that concept, and as cool as it would be, we have already been told it's a single player driven narrative story, right? So even in that aspect, sure, we probably can play as Miles, but just in missions. So I doubt, as cool as it would be and I would love it, is to just assume that, okay, we are going to have character switching, at least now anyway at this moment in time, although I would love it. The next piece of speculation is that Venom is going to be a playable character. Even if we take those two things into account and let's say they were true, we still need to scrap that, because what we need is random events in the game that entail you to basically, you know, go fight the bad guys but go inside buildings or randomly interact with NPCs that leads to one thing to another in a sense of catching a villain, or maybe they have some intel, etc, etc. I mean, this is where things get very, very interesting in my opinion, but this trailer is no doubt going to be huge, so we're in for a treat. The question is it in 24 hours? Is it this week? I mean, look, let's be honest, it's got to be this week. There is no way they're doing this to just end the year with nothing. And as I say, even with all of this news, if we didn't have Miles' video specifically saying how he's going to, or how we are going to end the year right for y'all, specifically word by word, then I guess you could still speculate it, but we're in for a big treat, and I think it's going to be a lot sooner than we think, hopefully 24 hours, but you need to see the info on the map size in this game, because I tell you now, that info was huge, so check it out on screen right now.